This video contains information that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are a viewer and are triggered or shocked by images and need a warning prior to every clip or story being discussed, then please unsubscribe from my channel immediately. My channel covers the harsh reality of even the worst crimes imaginable and is for adults only. For those of you who fit into this category, take this message as your warning and don't watch any further. Yo, freaks! Yep. I did a show for the members only earlier where I was trying to figure out how to make a new set. Yeah, I'm trying to make a 3D set that every time I go to a new screen it kind of rotates around. You know, you have to use some kind of creativity to do it, but it was probably a pretty boring show now that I look back, but it wasn't really a show, it was just hanging out. It didn't help out for the end of the month super chat, so I'll tell you that. Huh? Oh, okay. Hey, sorry to hear that. Nashville, yeah. Let's see. 1 hour from home. I mean, people put stuff in there. It's just so amazing. Yeah, I think I'm going to change it up a little bit. What I did already, but I'll probably still work with the same model that I have. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's going to be cool. I'm going to have this little thing that... I don't know. I might actually extend the wall out a little bit and then have the door is sort of inside a wall and it comes down. I don't know. It was pretty cool, though. Whatever the hell. I think it's going to work. Because it'd be like you have one window, then you hit the transition button, then it shuts the window that I'm in, then it rotates to the next one, and then the window goes. So that's the transition. What are you talking about, Gene? Nobody knows what you're talking about. Just Google, I guess, you know. Let's see. Oh yeah, there was an update in the Kristen Glass case. That was one of the ones that was pretty interesting. Remember the one where she threw her cell phone out of the car? This is the active missing person. Well, they found her. She was, I guess, at her mom's house or something like that. But why didn't her mom? You know, I guess they just didn't want to say anything. And I think it's because they're a little bit scared of the boyfriend who, you know, if you look it up, you know, somebody in here looked up the records and the boyfriend has some pretty disturbing charges. So she probably was trying to escape from that individual. That's what I would guess. Who cares? I don't know why your comment was deleted. It was from Google. Who gives a shit? They just do it all the time to everybody, all the time. I can't even comment on anybody's channel. I can't even go to a channel and make a comment. It's always, I'm Basically, I am spam or something. It's just what it is. Yeah, it's going to be like a spam, you know, whatever it was, they didn't like what you wrote. And obviously their algorithms don't work. Yeah, I think she probably was scared. And there's a reason why people thought she got rid of her phone, because she thought she was being followed. And I think the police probably even know who it was that was maybe following her. Yeah. I can't even send somebody a super chat with one letter in it. I can't say hi. Nothing. I can send a super chat just without any text at all. And then on every single channel out there, some channels can't see me at all, and others have to approve the comment. It's crazy. I don't know what... And the stupid thing is YouTube doesn't realize it's on their end. They keep saying, hey, can you have those users send us their chat parameters? Yeah. And I go, listen, I'm the only one that it's not working on. They didn't set me, you know, so there's something on your end that you designated my account as. And they go, well, we just can't help you until you send us a screenshot of the settings on their comment section. So I ended up sending them one. They go, yeah, that's what we thought. It's set up correctly, that it would get rid of spam. And I go, but I'm not typing spam. I'm saying, hello, how are you doing? I mean, YouTube is made up of, I don't even know what you call these people. They're like Laurel and Hardy or something. You know, who's on first? Hey, thanks, Rochelle Black. Yeah, had a pretty slow members only moment there, so we're gonna have to gotta get caught up tonight. Yeah. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get started now. So that was basically the update on that one case. I don't have any updates at all in the let's see, Stephanie Hollingsworth. Seems about the same. You know, maybe if there's breaking news, let me know. Yeah, that's what YouTube's like. They really, they're almost, it's embarrassing when you send them an email and you explain it to them, and then the next one they send back almost sounds like they completely disregarded what you wrote to them, and as if they didn't understand it whatsoever. It's ridiculous. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just going to get started on these. We'll see how long the night goes. Might be a shorter one. So I'm just going to start off in no particular order here. Okay, the first one is going to be Debra Rizzo. These are all in Florida again. I mean, Florida is just, I'm not sure what's going on, what was going on there in the 80s, but definitely wasn't someplace you'd want to be. Yep, so this is the first one here. 1978. In 1978, Mr. and Mrs. Leonard Rizzo of Clearwater have asked Clearwater Police, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department, police in Milford, Connecticut, and the public for help in locating their 15-year-old daughter. Deborah Star Rizzo of 2174 Belcher Drive vanished. Yeah, this is in Florida, yeah. So let's get that one in there. 21, I think I have that already. Yeah. So this is her home right here. She vanished on July 24th, 1978 from an area along S. Belcher Road, where she was to have been picked up by her father. Her parents said that they moved here in April. Let's see. So it's Bell. That's weird because they spelled it Belcher and then Belcher up there. I don't understand that. Her parents said that they moved here in April from Connecticut and that Debbie had no local friends that she might be staying with. They said she's 5'2" and weighs 125 pounds and has dark brown hair, somewhat shorter than in the picture that you see up there. On the day she disappeared, she was wearing blue shorts, a yellow shirt with the name of the rock group Santana on it, and brown leather sandals. Anyone with information should call Clearwater Police or the Sheriff's Department. So that was on the 3rd, August 3rd, 1978, this article right here. She went missing, though, on the 24th of July. Okay, and it says skeletal remains may be those of missing Clearwater teenager. And apparently, you know, if it's sunny outside and you know how it is in Florida, humid, you know, bodies decompose really quickly. The Pinellas County Medical Examiner's Office has determined that the skeletal remains of a body found in a wooded area of the Clearwater Wednesday are those of a slightly built female in her teens or early 20s. Police have not positively identified the remains, but say that there is a great possibility that the body is that of Deborah Rizzo, a 15-year-old who had been missing since July 24th. Miss Rizzo at 2174 Belcher Drive, about a quarter of a mile from where the body was found. That's how far away she lived, just right next to her house. John Bletschmidt, who discovered the body, said the only remaining skin was on the arms and hands. Chief Medical John Schinner said he first thought the stage of decomposition indicated the person had been dead for about 6 weeks. An autopsy completed Friday shows the time of death may be closer to 3 weeks, he said. Police have sent samples of hair and clothing, a pair of shorts and t-shirt, to laboratories in an attempt to obtain positive identification. He also said that the remains provide some clues to the girl's death. He refused to say whether those clues indicate that foul play was involved. Clearwater Police Sergeant Charles Hayden said police are investigating the death as a homicide until they know otherwise. It may be several weeks before the body is identified. There are probably 100 girls missing in Pinellas County who were wearing shorts and t-shirts when they were last seen, Hayden said. It would not be fair to any of those families for us to guess at who it is. Yeah, so a body was found, and then that was on the 5th, and then on the 12th, a week later, Clearwater police have confirmed that the skeletal remains of a body found in a wooded area of Clearwater August 2nd are those of 15-year-old Deborah Rizzo. Said Friday that identification was made by comparing some x-rays of Miss Rizzo sent from a hospital in Connecticut to the skeletal remains. So that they compared her to skeletal remains. To x-rays. I guess she must have, I don't know why she had x-rays done in Connecticut, but a few days before police confirmed his daughter Deborah's death, Leonard Rizzo discovered a scrawny bird with stunted wings helplessly chirping on the grass. He took it in, nursed it to health with vitamins. Now it lives in the shrubs in front of the Clearwater House. It was a sign from Debra, Rizzo whispers in a voice. The Rizzo family received final confirmation Friday that skeletal remains found near their home at 2174 Belcher Drive were those of their youngest child, Debra. This was my sick little bird, Miss Rizzo said. You know, you can't help but want to help more. Let's see. Well, anyway, that's the date that they identified the body. It was on the 13th, a week after. That was the following day. The day before is when they identified the body. And then on the 13th, that article came out. Let me see if there's any. That was more like a emotional piece. I'd rather just try to get to the facts. And then they had made a correction because they had a date wrong. You know what's lame is they put this correction on some weird page, like page 6 or something. You know, like in a small little brackets. But the date's actually, look at this. It's Clearwater police are urging anyone who was in a wooded park area near Belcher Drive in Clearwater between 4 and 7 p.m. on July 24th to call the Police Detective Bureau. Police are looking for help from anyone who may have picked up a clue about the disappearance that day of 15-year-old Debra Rizzo, whose skeletal remains were found less than 2 weeks ago. A story Wednesday gave the wrong date. Because that's not a big deal to get the wrong date, you know? I mean, you should have put that on front page and big, okay? Because not on the... Because then you probably said the 25th and you're like, oh, no, I was actually over at work. Oh, the 24th. I mean, it's a pretty big deal, that mistake right there. So you don't bury it on page 8, whatever the hell it was on. What is this one? It doesn't even say here, does it? No, page 70, everybody. Boy, that's a great retraction there. Good stuff. Okay, then I have one about 6 months later. Police seeking clues to slaying of a girl. On the evening of August 2nd, 1978, a Clearwater resident walking through a small wooded park discovered a decomposed body. The body was identified as that of 15-year-old Debra Star Rizzo, who had been missing since late July. The 5'2", 126-pound girl was last seen alive, leaving a house at 1437 Belcher Road, about 6 blocks from her home. She never arrived at her house on Belcher Drive. Her family searched the area, then called police. Her body was found lying in tall grass near a dirt road. None of the nearby residents could remember seeing the girl July 24th, the day of her disappearance. This is another in a series of unsolved crimes brought to the public's attention by Crime Watch. Okay, and you know, that story just kind of faded away. Let's see. Yes, and don't forget, everybody, you guys are the sole means of income for the channel on Super Chats or PayPal or anything that you do, so I can keep doing these shows, okay? But at the end of the month, that's what the big deal is. That's where we donate a lot of money to charities. $15,500 so far. We donate to like 5 or, I don't know, tons of different ones. The ones that we donated to last month were the Wounded Blue Fund, or we've donated this so far this year, so it could be any of these. The DNA Doe Project, RAIN, which supports the violence against women and helps do some of the, what do you call those, the backlog of rape kits. FirstResponders.org, we've done 1,000. Texas EquiSearch, who's always out there searching for missing people, 5,000 we've donated. Innocence Project 900, and the Kyron Horman Foundation 2,700. And you know, it just goes on and on and on. So there you go. Thanks, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock. Yeah, so this is an article from, looks like 2019 on this, so let's see what it says in here. 15-year-old Debra Rizzo had only lived in Clearwater for 3 months when she died in the summer of 1978. Hardly enough time for a teenager to run with the wrong crowd. That's what homicide detectives with the Clearwater Police Department continue to wonder, if she was attacked by a stranger, albeit in broad daylight, and murdered. We don't think she knew anyone, Sergeant Mike Hassey said. She was last seen at about 3:30 p.m. on July 24th on foot heading northwest on Belcher Road. So I'm not really sure how they can say... Oh, this is Belcher Road. So when you're saying northwest, I'm not sure how you can say that because it's absolutely completely vertical. You know, it's north, sure. I get that. Yeah, toward her home. That doesn't really make any sense. It would be west on Belcher Drive towards her home. See, it's weird. There's a Belcher, Belcher, and then Belcher. I mean, God, could you be more confusing? In fact, Rizzo's routine in Clearwater was made up mostly of a daily afternoon visit as an outpatient to the clinic for mental health issues. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Eating a snack. So let's see, she was heading northwest on Belcher Road toward her home by the receptionist of a clinic where she had an appointment. The employer recalls her eating a snack, and that's about it. In fact, Rizzo's routine in Clearwater was made up mostly of a daily afternoon visit as an outpatient to the clinic for mental health issues. She had experienced a tough childhood, and her family had just relocated from Connecticut, taking up residence at 2174 Belcher Drive. She was found dead just a block from her house on August 2nd, the victim of what is believed to be blunt force trauma. Although her cause of death remains inconclusive, she also had been sexually assaulted. It was the dead of summer, so there was a lot of decomposition. Her body was found in a large overgrown fields, swampy thicket in the 1200 block of Bell Drive. So look how crazy this is. It's just right here. I mean, that's where she lived, in this house. And then she's found in that park right at the end of basically the end of the street. Yeah. So she lived right here, 2174. You know, cute little ranch style house, and then down at the end of the street. It's almost like she made it onto her street. And then the person drove them. I mean, it's bizarre that she got back onto the street she lives on, because this is a dead end here. And then the person just drove her apparently down to this park down here at the end. It looks totally, you know, I'm not saying, well, maybe not totally different, but quite a bit different now. But apparently she was found somewhere out in here in 1978. Or 1980, was it 81? Yeah, 78. So this looked different back then. It was more of a field. What happened to that article? There it is, right there. Alright. Her body was found in a large overgrown field, swampy thicket in the 1200 block of Bell Drive. See, now it's Bell Drive? Hold on. Now I gotta check that out. See, I guess now it's Bell Cheer Drive, but I think it was Bell Drive before, because that's Bernice. Okay, that's Bell Drive right there. So I guess Bell Cheer and then Bell Drive happens to be. So I have the pin basically right in the correct spot there. It was an area where juveniles hung out, an area that was considered a cut-through with several paths. Paths, Hasty said, but her body was off the path and in the northeast corner of the field, partially covered. An adult resident eventually smelled an odor and found her body. Investigators aren't certain when she died or if she died at the spot, but Hasty said it's likely she had died at least a week or at least a few days before being discovered. Had she been abducted and taken elsewhere? The fact she was found so close to home tempers that theory. To think she was taken to another location and then returned there seems like a stretch. Yeah, that seems kind of not likely. What's weird is that she was near her house that whole time. What's also curious is the fact that the field was actually a block beyond her house. We suggest she encountered somebody on her walk home. It's more realistic to think she was there voluntarily rather than to think of her being dragged down the street against her will. As we know, some teenagers can be vulnerable. As is the case with many old unsolved murders, Hasty said, he's not holding his breath for someone's memory to be jogged. Yeah, I mean, this 1978, we're looking at 41 years now. So that's it. I mean, there's nothing, they don't have any clue or anything in that case. Isn't that ridiculous? Doesn't this seem like, wow, man, there's got to be something. I mean, somebody got her on the way there and just happened to go down their home. It's almost like they would have had to know where she lived, or she got a ride with somebody and says, I live right here, and then that person knew the area and then took her it's really doesn't make a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Yeah, the next one is Cynthia Marie Clements, 1980. A 19-year-old convenience store clerk vanished from her job before dawn Monday. And this is in Tampa area, I guess. Or at least it's in the Tampa paper. I don't really know. We'll figure that out here in a minute. A 19-year-old convenience store clerk vanished from her job before dawn Monday and was still missing by late evening. After a day-long search, authorities said they were unsure whether the woman, Cynthia Clements of Pinellas Park, left voluntarily or was abducted. Miss Clements was last seen about 6:30 a.m. inside the Lil General Store at 6185. All right, let's put it in there. 6185 54th Avenue North. And that's in, where is it? Pinellas. Okay. So she was seen at that store in Kansas City where she had just taken a job as a night clerk at St. Petersburg Times delivery. A St. Petersburg Times delivery man dropped off a load of newspapers and spoke with her briefly. The delivery man said later that nothing appeared unusual. But about an hour later, when a customer walked into the store, Miss Clements was gone. The doors were unlocked, a radio was playing, and her purse was still behind the counter. So somebody probably came in with a gun in that situation. The customer flagged down a passing Pinellas County Sheriff's deputy, touching off the search. During the morning, deputies with dogs combed woods to the north and west of the store. And others scanned the area with helicopter. Crime technicians lifted fingerprints from inside the store. Detective Sergeant John Mulry called Miss Clements' disappearance highly suspicious and expressed concern for her safety, but he cautioned that he would not have any evidence to actually support foul play. Apparently, no money was taken from the store, and there were no signs of a struggle, a sheriff spokesman said. Miss Clements, who lived at 5260, so that's where she was last seen. Let me get her home in here. It probably doesn't matter that much, but I guess she went missing from the store. So she lives right here. Let me guess, there's a Morphew chat going on right now. Probably a live about Morphew, right? Yeah, maybe I'll just put this show on hold for another night. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I spent like 4 hours getting together here. Doesn't seem like it's really, there's only 154 in there. There's nothing different. Everything's set up the same. Yeah, this whole area is a nightmare. There was a serial killer for sure walking around in this area. Yeah, I know. It's just one of those things. Yeah. Just not. I don't know. Let me see if I can work my way into feeling it. It doesn't feel like it right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a break for a minute.
We appreciate your hard work, Gray.
I just got to get my hey, thanks, Kit Kat. Had to get something to drink. All right, where is it? All right. Hey, thanks, Amy. Just don't worry about it, everybody. It's just really frustrating.
Gray, you are amazing and appreciated. Thank you for all the hard work and dedication.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. All right, let me gotta get this playing. What was it on here? Okay. Yeah, so she was at the store there, and then somebody, a delivery man came by and she wasn't there, or she was there at that time. But a customer walked into the store. Miss Clements was gone. The doors were unlocked. A radio was playing, and her purse was still behind the counter. The customer flagged down a passing Pinellas County Sheriff's deputy, touching off the search. During the morning, deputies with dogs combed woods to the north and west of the store, and others scanned the area. From the helicopter, crime technicians lifted... hey, thanks, Linda Howe. From helicopter, crime technicians lifted fingerprints from inside the store. Detective Sergeant John Mulry called Miss Clements' disappearance highly suspicious and expressed concern for her safety.
Sorry for being off topic and interrupting chat. I do appreciate and love you all, heart.
You're not off topic. All right. Yeah. Let's see. So apparently no money was taken from the store and there were no signs of a struggle. So that just makes it seem like somebody came in with a gun and said, hey. And she did everything he said, left her purse behind, got out of the store, got into her car. And look at what time it was, too. So it was 4:30 in the morning. There wasn't going to be a soul out there other than, the mail delivery. And then at 5:30, the first customer came by, and she wasn't there. So she got abducted between 4:30 and 5:30 a.m., obviously. Let's see. She started working at Lil General less than a week ago. She'd only been working there about a week. On the 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift, her father, 44-year-old John Clements, said Monday afternoon that he had worried about his daughter taking the job. Yeah, I mean, especially in that area, not the greatest shift in the world. Clements talked with the store manager about it. He recalled that, that she said it was a good neighborhood. She told me, don't worry about her. But a job like that, it's just not a place for a young girl, I guess, said Clements. So this is when she was missing. let's see. Nonetheless, with Miss Clements working as a manager of a different little general store, the family was getting by. Sunday night, Mrs. Clements drove Cynthia to work. Her husband was preparing to pick her up at about 6:15 Monday morning when the sheriff office called to report she was missing. Miss Clements is 5'2", 160 pounds, with hazel eyes and light brown hair. She was wearing a white pullover blouse, blue knit pants, and brown sandals at work Monday, the sheriff's spokesman said. My daughter is missing. So this is on September 3rd. Some 37 hours after their 19-year-old daughter Cynthia disappeared from Pinellas County convenience store, John and Nancy Clements fearfully watched the evening news Tuesday. The search continues for a convenience store clerk missing since yesterday, the anchor man said. And then she said, I just want her back. The family moved to Pinellas Park about a month ago from Birmingham, Alabama. Isn't that weird how the other person just moved there too? It's almost like if you just have a little bit off, the killers get you over there. The family moved to Pinellas Park about a month ago from Birmingham, Alabama, and their daughter had worked at the Little General, 6185 54th Avenue North, for less than a week. Did Cynthia leave on her own, or was she abducted? That's the question. Just before dawn on Labor Day, between 4:20 and 5 a.m., Cynthia vanished from the Little General store, Stebbins said. A customer walked into the empty store at about 5:20 and found a radio playing, Clements' purse, and an unfinished crossword puzzle on a makeshift desk. It's almost like she got everything ready. She was waiting, turned the music up because there weren't going to be any customers yet. So she turned the music up. She was doing a crossword puzzle. She was just kind of relaxing until the customers were going to show up, and then somebody came in with a gun. The customer flagged down a sheriff deputy who was driving by. That's interesting that they would actually think to do that. You wouldn't think maybe she was outside or anything like that. But the customer literally flagged down a sheriff deputy who was driving by. A search of the surrounding area by dogs and helicopters was started. Cynthia had not done the 5 a.m. cash register check, so Stebbins said she was probably gone from the store before then. The last person to see her was a St. Petersburg Times delivery man who talked to her at 4:20, so now it's even a smaller window. The public buses go past Little General, and taxi company representatives told sheriff officials they didn't pick up anyone resembling Cynthia Stebbins. Cynthia, Stebbins said. He said a background check on the woman didn't turn up anything. Sheriff officials contacted the sheriff's office in Colum County, Alabama, and officials there said Cynthia apparently had not come to her hometown, Stebbins said. So she didn't even go back to where she was from, nothing. She just disappeared. Let's see. She didn't have a car, so her mother drove her to work Sunday night. Shortly before her father was to pick her up, sheriff officials called Clements to tell him his daughter was missing. The family had vacation in St. Petersburg in June and decided to move to Florida to be close to Nancy's parents in north central Florida. Clements also hoped he would be able to find a job as a tractor-trailer mechanic, but that didn't work out. He was only able to find a $3.85 an hour job with the city of St. Petersburg. They were able to get by because Nancy was working as the manager of another Little General. Tuesday, the Clementses said sheriff's detectives still had given them no hope. Mr. Clements said he had been besieged by calls from the media. We just keep repeating the same thing over and over. They just ask the same questions again and again. he said in a quavering voice. His wife said, "I appreciate all the help, but I just can't talk about it anymore." Okay, then 4 days later, no sign of harm, no motive to run. Almost a week after, she vanished without a trace, without even a sign of a struggle or of a normal departure. Pinellas County Sheriff's detectives still haven't a clue to what happened to Cynthia Clements. And though her disappearance, at least so far, seems more baffling than most, the 5 detectives working it are exploring every lead that even remotely looks helpful for her case. Described as a quiet and religious, Miss Clements was the 19-year-old night clerk at Lil General in Northwest St. Petersburg, who abruptly vanished in the pre-dawn hours of Labor Day. She left the back door of the store latched shut, the front door unlocked, so the person just had her go out the front door. And the contact, you see, when they say she left it that way, that's stupid. That means you're not really thinking through it, like you're not assuming she was abducted at all. That's obvious. Right away it's obvious. Yeah. The problem with the case is it's baffling. No motive. By all accounts, Miss Clements had no reason to want to leave either her job or her family. She was not that kind of young woman. She had been working at the Little General a week after finishing at the top of her training class for the job. One of the basics taught at the school said the store's assistant manager is never to leave the store unlocked. Her parents say alcohol, misfits, and drugs were not part of Miss Clements' life, and that the things that mattered to her were family, church, and God. Yeah, so they're just absolutely baffled at this point. Hey, thanks, Firefly Shy.
I love your channel, Gray. Growing heart, star, 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 star.
Cool, thanks. Field interrogation reports, routine reports written by police officers who have stopped suspicious-looking persons for questioning are reviewed daily. Late-night convenience stores, Lil Generals, 7-Eleven shops, and GOS have been contacted in an effort to assemble a profile describing the kinds of people who have left the job under suspicious circumstances. Yeah, well, that's not going to work. Hey, thanks, J. Case. All right. Yeah, not too bad. It's been a long day. Long day. I gotta pay attention because that thing will freak me out if I'm not listening. There we go. Oh, I got the wrong one. I put a lizard eye in there too. Oh, I wanted to have the cat eye on the
Have to watch
screen.
replay. Im responding to emails. HUZZE, hope you're well. TGIFFREAKAZOIDS.
Its word out always says HUZZEE. Thank God it's Friday, Freakazoids. That's right. Yeah, so they're just totally baffled at this point. And then there's another person that goes missing, which is crazy, right? I mean, listen to this one. Ding, 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 ding.
Freaky Friday with the Freak Family Smile Heart.
A 19-year-old dog groomer, thanks Tracy, has mysteriously disappeared from her job, making her the second teenager to vanish from work in the last 2 weeks without a clue. Police said Thursday they had no clues in either disappearance. Elizabeth Margaret Graham, that's the new person, was reported missing on Wednesday, and Cynthia Clements, also 19, has been missing since September 1st. This article is from September 12th, so just not even 2 weeks later. Both girls were new on their jobs. Graham was in her second day of work for Pampered Poodle Shop, working out of a mobile van when she went Tuesday to tend a dachshund owned by Mr. Johnson, police said. So she was driving around in this car. I guess it's a mobile dog grooming service. The van was discovered Wednesday by Pinellas County deputies empty, unlocked, and parked at the house, which was vacant. Wow, is that where she was ordered to go, though? So that person pretended to be... Let's see. To tend a dachshund owned by a Mr. Listen to this shit. Listen to this. So right here they have the Mr. Johnson's in quotes. So that means, hey, I've got a dachshund over here. He goes to an abandoned home. And he, of course, Mr. Johnson, right? Because there's, how many Mr. Johnsons are there out there? So they go to this house. She goes to this house by herself in this car. So that means he knew what he was doing. He was targeting her specifically. For sure. The van was discovered Wednesday by Pinellas County deputies empty, unlocked, and parked at the house. That's the house. When they say at the house, that means they're referring to the house that Mr. Johnson was supposed to be at with the dachshund, right? But when they got there, it was vacant. So it was an abandoned home. Missing from the vehicle was a noose-type canine restraint made of rope and chain, oh boy, and her purse. Clements vanished from a convenience store on September 1st. So now we're going to the other one. She had been working the overnight shift as a clerk for only a few days. She left behind her purse and an unfinished crossword puzzle in the unlocked store. Sherry Hawkins, Graham's boss, said a man who identified himself as Mr. Johnson. See, this one's really creepy, isn't it? Identified himself as Mr. Johnson, called the salon on Monday, wanting his dog bathed and dipped for fleas. He said he knew about the pampered poodle because he had met one of the company's groomers at a convenience store. And wanted her specifically to take care of his dog. So he struck up a conversation with one of his victims. She told him where she worked and what she did, obviously. And then he called up and got that very same person. He said he didn't have a phone and gave an address of what later turned out to be a vacant house. See? I hadn't read this yet, but I knew that's what they were wording it. Graham never came home Tuesday night to the house she lived in with her boyfriend, Gary Muchmore, 25, and his mother, Maureen Turner. After Muchmore checked with the highway patrol and the pampered poodle, he called the sheriff's office. When police arrived at the Johnson address, they found a for sale sign in front of the nearest neighbor. And the nearest neighbor about a quarter mile. Wow. So this guy knew exactly what he was doing here. He scouted out. He found a vacant house with the nearest neighbor a quarter mile away. He called, gave the address to this place, knew what his victim was going to be that he met at a store. Then she drove all the way out there intending to clean this dachshund. And at that moment, as soon as she got out of the car, she was absolutely in his control because there was nobody around. Wow, that's really creepy. That's one of the worst ones. And then about a month later, so now I'm back to Clements at this point. And that Graham one's crazy. Woman found in woods died of strangulation. A young woman believed to have been Cynthia Clements was strangled, Sheriff's Office spokesman Merrill Stebbins said Wednesday. The skeletal remains of a young woman dressed in clothes that matched those worn by 19-year-old convenience store clerk who vanished in pre-dawn hours September 1st was found Tuesday about 10:15 a.m. The remains were partly covered with dirt and pine needles beside a rough dirt road off Bryan Dairy Road near the Belcher Road. Wow, that's weird. So Belcher Road again. Hold on, let me so we're talking about Bryan Dairy Road. All right, let me just put that there. And then it was near the Belcher Road. That was the same road that was near the first case that we talked about. Alright, so that was her. So we have to go way down here. So this is where they meet. So let's see. The remains were partly covered in dirt. Beside a rough dirt road off Bryan Dairy Road near the Belcher Road dead end. Well, I mean, I don't know, but, you know, it's not really a dead end anymore. I mean, where does Belcher Road dead end? Oh, right there? Oh, this is kind of dead end right there. But then the Bryan Dairy Road isn't anywhere near there. Well, now it continues on. Huh, let me go back again. That's crazy, right? Is there even a road there? Look at that, there's no road in 1994, but then there is one now. So it does make me think that that's what they were talking about. You know, near the dead end, because that's basically where it stops, right there. But maybe it's the other direction. I don't know, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because, you know, this is Bryan Dairy Road. We said a road off Bryan Dairy Road near the Belcher Road dead end. Well, this is Bryan Dairy Road. It doesn't dead end right there. So, you got me. Okay. Through positive identification by dental charts, though positive identification by dental charts was not expected to be made until today, Sheriff Detective John Mulry said detectives are already working under the assumption that the nearly 3/4 decomposed body is that of Miss Clements. Yeah, and see, that's later in October, so it's not quite as hot as dead summer, so she didn't decompose as quick. All clothing on the body was found fully up. Detectives have not determined if the woman was killed where the body was found or if she was carried there afterward, adding that the dirt road leading to the wooded area is rugged but accessible by most cars. A four-wheel drive vehicle would not have been necessary to get in and out of the area. Deputies searched the area with dogs for about 2 hours Tuesday as a helicopter circled above taking aerial photographs. Detectives are investigating the possibility that Miss Clements' disappearance may be linked to the disappearance of 19-year-old Elizabeth Graham, who vanished in the High Point area 8 days after Miss Clements had been reported missing. They have found no solid connections between the two cases. Yep, and convenience store cashier raped and then released. A 20-year-old clerk who had been on the job for 4 days was abducted from a Magic Market, apparently taken to a motel and raped and then dropped off near the store at about 8:15. Investigators are searching for a white man about 30 to 35 years old, weighing about 160 pounds and approximately 5'9". The victim described her abductor as having dirty blonde curly hair. He was wearing a white t-shirt with animal crackers printed on the front. The man was last seen driving a blue Ford pickup truck east on Buffalo Avenue. Man, I think if we had $1 for every time a blue pickup truck is used in a case, we'd be rich. The woman's disappearance was discovered about 4 a.m. by a store customer who flagged down a deputy in a sheriff cruiser near the Magic Market at Buffalo Avenue. Investigators found the keys to the open store inside the cash drawer empty and the clerk missing. A store spokesman said an undetermined amount of cash was stolen. Just before the deputy arrived, a witness saw 2 white men speed west on Buffalo. So I don't know if it's the same person, but by about 7:30, activity at the store had returned to normal, officials said. Other local convenience stores were being canvassed in search of leads. Then at 8:12, the young, dark-haired woman walked inside the store. She was still wearing a gold necklace and clutching a small brown purse. The woman was sobbing as another clerk called sheriff officials. Within minutes, 5 patrol cars jammed the store's parking lot. I don't know. He said a hotel, he said a motel about 20 miles from here, but I don't know how far or where, the woman said. Investigators took the trembling victim to the back of the store to interview her. I mean, it's weird. It's pretty similar, though. At about 8:15, Sheriff Communications Officer received a call from an unidentified man who said, "I just wanted to let you know that she's back and okay. You can stop looking for her." Wow. Isn't that crazy? Jeez. So the kidnapper literally called the police, said, let them know, oh, she's safe and sound, so you can stop looking. Investigators were talking to the victim to try to get more information, but she was extremely upset. She said, Major Cal Henderson, that's what he said, she can't even estimate the time she was with him or how far she was taken. Henderson said the abduction was apparently not related to the 2 September abductions of young women in Pinellas County. So, I mean, I guess that was just sort of a thing back then, huh? Then 4 months later, 5 even. This is just part of another article that I cropped out. Cynthia Clements was the new kid in town. Her parents had just moved to Pinellas Park from Alabama the week before, and Cindy got a job at a nearby convenience store. The hours could have been better. She worked the night graveyard shift, but she didn't have any friends yet, so she could sleep all day. Besides, her manager promised she would be moved to the day shift in 2 weeks. Cindy couldn't wait. There were too many weirdos at night, she told her mother. Nancy, like the guy who came in the night before she disappeared into thin air, paging through a skin magazine. He didn't buy it. just thumbed through it right in the store, watching her watch him. On Labor Day morning, 1980, her first week on the job, the chubby 19-year-old disappeared. Man, you couldn't write that today, that sentence. Putting the word chubby in there. Oh my God, you'd get slaughtered putting that in there. Oh, how dare you! You're shaming and everything. I mean, I think it's weird even to have it written back then, but yeah. Anyways, on Labor Day morning, 1980, her first week on the job, the chubby 19-year-old disappeared about 4 a.m. on the counter of Little General Store a few blocks from her house was the crossword puzzle she had been working on. Her purse was under the counter. 8 days later, on September 9th, Elizabeth Graham, a 19-year-old St. Petersburg woman who lived a few blocks from Mansfield's boarding house. Really? That's crazy. Disappeared as mysteriously as Cindy Clements. Like Cindy, Liz Graham had gone while at work, a job she started just 2 days before. She had just received a job giving haircuts to poodles. A man who called himself Mr. Johnson called Pampered Poodle in St. Petersburg and asked that someone come to his home to groom his dog. The job was assigned to Liz, and she went to the home with a Pampered Poodle van. She never came back. The van was found at the address Mr. Johnson had given, so she was just abducted straight from there. And the house was vacant. Age and the fact that they had just started new jobs were about the only things Cindy Clements and Liz Graham had in common. Cindy, a devout Baptist, was from a strict home and no boyfriends. On October 14th, the body of Cindy Clements was found in heavy woods 4.5 miles from the store by a hunter. So we do have the store, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's the store. And then Belcher. So it's up this direction. Belcher Road. What was the other road that they mentioned? Actually, it was all the way down here, right? No. So it's 4.5 miles from the store. I guess we could do it like this. Okay, there's Bryan Dairy Road. Yeah, so it's... Okay, so Belcher Road probably ended right where we were saying. Maybe it ends this way too, though, at some point. So Belcher Road, and then it becomes South Belcher Road, so maybe, you know, it's kind of like in this area, maybe. It's right at the edge of the... I'll just put a pin there. So somewhere out around in this area. Yeah, so he didn't have any evidence at all. Oh wait, let's see. That had some more information. On October 14th, the body of Cindy Clements was found in heavy woods 4.5 miles from the store by a hunter whose pickup truck had overturned. Her pants were pulled to her ankles. Didn't they say earlier that her clothes were all on? Her pants were pulled to her ankles and a piece of duct tape was over her mouth. So this is Cindy Clements. This is the one that had been working at the store for about a week. And, her purse was there. And there was the person that drops off the newspaper saw her. And then there was a customer that didn't see her. So she disappeared between like 4:20 and 5. That's this one. Her pants were pulled to her ankles and a piece of duct tape was over her mouth. Around her neck was a piece of wire, just like the first body found on the Mansfield property. Next to her body were several pornographic magazines. Liz Graham was never found. So this is somebody else. This Liz Graham. So there was a whole story. There's this individual they think is involved here. And I think Margaret Graham is who they're talking about when they say she hasn't been found. So it's 1983. Headless body identified, maybe linked to other cases. With identification Friday of a Clearwater woman whose headless body remained a mystery for nearly 2 years, Pinellas Sheriff investigators now believe her killers are behind the disappearance of 3 other Pinellas County women. 2 of those women, a dog groomer and a convenience store clerk, disappeared within 8 days of each other in 1980. Pinellas Sheriff Jerry Coleman said his office has suspects in the case, but no arrests have been made Saturday. Coleman could not be reached for comment late Saturday using fingerprint records. The body found in the woods of Citrus County in October 1981 was identified as Margot Delamone, 39. The delay in identification of identifying Delamone was attributed in part to misinformation about her race, originally believed to be black, and how long she had been dead. Citrus County officials at the time said she had been dead between 6 weeks and 3 months, when in fact it was less than a month. An official with the medical examiner's office explained at the time of the discovery that the badly decomposed body had been stained by tannic acid, a substance derived from bark and leaves, and determination of the race was difficult. 7 months after the discovery of the body, Delamone's skull, without jawbone, was found near Weeki Wachee in Hernando County. Her husband, Bob Delamone, said Saturday he believes the identification took so long because Citrus County Sheriff's Office erred. Let's see. The 3 other women being linked to the case, all 19, also disappeared while working, and 2 of them, Cynthia Clements and Elizabeth Graham, disappeared within 8 days of each other. In May 1981, Bobby Barkley disappeared from a Pinellas Park furniture store. See, I mean, that's another person that was actually, the next year, she goes missing from a furniture store. Clements worked as a convenience store clerk, and Graham was a dog groomer. Clements was on her 3rd day at a St. Petersburg Little General store when she vanished on Labor Day. Her body was found in thick-wooded area a month and a half later near Largo. She had been strangled. Graham disappeared September 9th after she went out on a grooming appointment made by a man known as Mr. Johnson. About a month after Barkley became missing, her car was found in the Clearwater Mall parking, but there was no trace of her. Yeah, it's just insane. All right, so here we go. A man serving 183 years for abducting a Seminole County woman in 1982. So this article is from 83 now. Is suspected in the disappearance of 2 Pinellas County women, plus the death of 2 other women, including a 39-year-old whose headless body was found. So now they're starting to maybe put some pieces together here. And Tampa police, according to sources, are looking for links between the convicted kidnapper and at least one unsolved case in the city. However, police spokesman Johnny Barker declined to comment on any specific cases. He confirmed Wednesday that one detective did attend a meeting last week in Inverness on the matter with officers from other cities. Sources have told the Tribune it is mainly Pinellas County detectives who want to question a former Pinellas resident now in prison for his part in a Lake Mary abduction. In that case, the suspect was convicted of kidnapping a real estate saleswoman. I mean, it sounds right there. She's working. By pretending to be a... you know what's weird is... You know what popped right into my head when that whole scenario about, hey, I'm getting my dog groomed and a fake address and everything? I immediately thought it sounded similar to real estate, those same things where they go to pretend like that they're interested. I just didn't say it, but you know, now they've got this suspect that had something similar to that. Okay, now I'll be back in about 20 seconds. I just gotta grab a Gatorade. I've caught a second wind. All right. The victim jumped from her assailant's car. So this is whoever this is they're talking about right now made one of those fake real estate calls. Convicted of kidnapping a real estate saleswoman by pretending to be a prospective property buyer. See, it's a very similar ruse, according to Seminole County Sheriff's Department spokesman John Spolsky. The victim jumped from her assailant's car at a gas station and waved down a passing police car. So she lived, but she wasn't going to live. The victim jumped from her assailant's car, right? According to sources, the cases discussed at the Inverness meeting last week included those of 4 Pinellas women who disappeared between 1980 and 81. The cases were Margot C. Delamon, 39, a Clearwater real estate woman who disappeared October 2nd, 1981, and whose body was found 3 weeks later near the Withlacoochee River in Citrus County. The top portion of her skull was found about 7 months later near Brooksville, about 30 miles from where her body was discovered. Jesus. She was identified last week by Citrus County Charles S. Dean, who said her identity was established by fingerprints lifted from the body and compared with prints on the victim's real estate license. Cynthia Clements 19, who disappeared from a convenience store in September 1980. Her body was found 3 weeks later off Bryan Dairy Road. Bobby Barkley 19, who disappeared from the Pipe Furniture Store in Pinellas Park in May 1981. Elizabeth Graham, who worked for a dog grooming service and disappeared after she responded to a call to care for a dog belonging to Mr. Johnson. In quotes, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office Captain Don Shields refused to comment on the cases Wednesday. Right. And then 5 years later, she's in an article here. Old suspect is new focus in disappearance. 4 Pinellas County women disappeared 1980, 1981. 2 were found dead. 2 were never found. New information has detectives focusing on James Delano Winkles in all 4 cases. First, Cynthia Clements disappeared. 8 days later, Elizabeth. Okay, 1980-81, these 4 Pinellas County women who never knew each other became inextricably linked by their fates. Yeah, so all these 4 women, or 3 women right there, they think maybe this guy had something to do with it at the time. I couldn't find page 2 of that. So this is actually 1998 right here. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, so we already did that one. Yeah, so it wasn't 88. This is 98. So 15 years later, not 5. Yeah, he was serving life plus 90 years already. Let's see. After he got into the car, he pulled a knife. Using one of his many aliases, Winkles arranged in January 1982 to meet with Donna Maltby, 28, a woman who worked for a Sanford Realty company. He told her he wanted to look at some property near Interstate 4. After she got into his car, he pulled a knife and pushed it against her side. So he could use a knife instead of a gun in the store too, right? He tied her up, took $111 from her, and drove around Orlando area for a while. When Winkles stopped the car, Maltby ran from the car screaming. Orange County deputies found him hiding nearby behind a building. The Seminole County judge who sentenced Winkles for robbery, kidnapping, and grand theft said he wanted to keep him in prison for as long as possible. Thank you, Judge. Yeah, it's always great to have a judge like that instead of looking for ways to get him out. Margot Delamont, 39, one of 4 women who disappeared 18 years ago, was a Clearwater real estate saleswoman. Oh, man. So isn't that wild? So that's the same MO as one of those other victims. She vanished October 2nd, 1981 after leaving her office in Pinellas Park. So he tried 2 different real estate agents. She doesn't know how lucky she is to get out of that car. And then they mentioned Clements again. A dog groomer, Graham, was last seen September 9th. So they're kind of wondering if he has something to do with it. So if we go back to the Graham case, this is where another 19-year-old woman disappeared Tuesday, and only her second day on the job as a mobile dog groomer, 19-year-old Elizabeth Graham went to St. Petersburg address to keep her final appointment washing dachshund. She disappeared and her van was found Wednesday. So this is before they were giving us all the information about how it was actually, maybe it has more in here though, let's see. So she loved the job. Her last appointment was with a Mr. Johnson who had called Monday wanting his dachshund washed and dipped for fleas. So it does say that. Johnson told the woman who made the Tuesday appointment for him that he had met one of the company's groomers at a convenience store and he wanted that girl to take care of his dog. He said he didn't have a phone and gave his address. Oh, there we go. We can actually see where she was abducted. That's crazy. 2172 Bradford Street. Right there. God, it's still like that a little bit. Let me get rid of the, well, it was then anyways. Okay, not quite. 94. Well, 94, it still has a similar look to it, but. So, obviously, they probably tore down the house and built a apartment complex there. Because there was an abandoned home right here. I don't know if it was on the left or right. Looks more like on the left. Man, you guys spent 20 minutes joking around about the name? Jesus. Let's see. So Graham didn't come home to 2110 8th Avenue where she lived with her boyfriend of 3 years. Turner and much more returned home late to find no sign of Graham, who should have been there hours before. After checking with friends and the Florida Highway Patrol all night, Muchmore went to the Pampered Poodle's office at 4727, where he talked to Graham's boss. When deputies went to the Bradford Street address, they found the Pampered Poodle van parked in the driveway. The house nearest neighbor is about a quarter of a mile away. A for sale sign was planted in the front yard, crowded with trees and bushes, but it's hard to tell. The mustard-colored house is vacant. Awnings shade the windows, which are darkly curtained. Hawkins said Graham's purse contained about $35 or $40 of the day's receipts, and the dog restraints were missing from the van. Oh, jeez. The restraint is slipped around the dog's body to keep it still during grooming, so he probably used that somehow. Tuesday, Graham was running late on her appointment because she was new at the job, Hawkins said. Mr. Johnson called the company about 7 times between 3 and 4, asking why the groomer was late. Oh, man. Jesus. So he even called a few times. It's crazy. Yeah, I called 7 times between 3 and 4 p.m. That's crazy, right? Man. That's a lot of times calling. I mean, like, he's really confident that they're not going to be able to tell who he is. And, he just wants to make sure that his prey is going to be there. Hawkins said she told Johnson the last time he called at 4 that she would contact Graham's last customer and try to get an arrival time. Yeah, that's just brutal. God. So this has a lot more detail on that. So let's see. I called the other customer and he told me that Liz had left 10 minutes ago and that she was in good spirits. I got back online and told Mr. Johnson that she would be there in about 20 minutes, Hawkins said. He was talking low, very quietly. He sounded very nice, she said. How about you lie in a circumstance like that? Mr. Johnson didn't call back. Turner Hawkins and other co-workers described Graham as a friendly, responsible person. Turner called Graham bubbly, and a recent picture shows her posing with her dog, Samurai, grinning mischievously. Liz is a highly intelligent girl. She would not have gotten into a car voluntarily. See, it shows you that in all these cases, a weapon's used to get them to do what he wants them to be doing, getting into his vehicle. She wouldn't stay all night without calling, Gary Turner said. Wednesday evening, Turner said she called Graham's parents in Michigan. They said they hadn't seen or heard from their daughter. She was described as 5'6", 120 pounds with dark auburn hair, which is long and wavy. She has hazel eyes and 1-inch scar from the upper lip to her nose. Yeah, so this is another article. Now there's police puzzled over 6 reports of missing persons in the area. So there isn't just those, you know, there's a whole bunch of them. Oh yeah, so I think we've got an answer here. So what was the name of that a minute ago when we were talking about the it was like the, I can't remember now. What was it? A home or something? It rang a bell when I was reading it. I don't think that was it. Gotta open these up. It was some kind of a facility. You know, the second body found. Remember that? It was the second body found with the wire around the neck at a specific place. Do you guys remember that? Now maybe this has it. This kind of looks familiar. Okay. But Mullery would release the further details about the case. He declined to confirm or deny reports that the body was found with duct tape over the mouth and wire wrapped around the neck. Initial reports that the body was found partly nude were contradicted by Mullery. I can see how a layman might make the observation. See, there was something about, there was a place mentioned regarding the second body found in a similar way on a certain piece of property. Let's see, but I think it's down here. Hold on. Detectives have determined if the woman was killed where the body was found or if she was carried there afterwards. Deputies searched the area about 2 hours today. Detectives are investigating the possibility that Miss Clements' disappearance may be linked to the disappearance of 19-year-old Elizabeth Graham, who vanished in the High Point area days after Miss Clements. Oh man, see, I don't think I'm going to be able to find that really quick. It was like it was a quick blurb. Yeah, it started with an M. Yeah, it was like Mansfield or something like that. That's why I want to get that name, because the reason I want to get the name is because then there's this arrest with this guy named Serial Dispatches or something like that. And I think he might have been the killer of Graham, I think. Although that's a different one, right? There's a Margaret. Let me see if there's a Margaret in here. Yeah, well anyways, there's a serial killer here. And I think one of the people that were, I thought it was Mansfield. That's what was so weird. It seemed like the same name and it just popped up. And then I wanted to see, like, wow, is that really the same? Yeah, so there's a Sandra Jean Graham here. That's a different one. Let me see if any of the other ones are on there, like Clements. No. Yeah, I don't think Graham's ever been found, the one that we were talking about. But it's weird because this is another serial killer in that same area. Look at that guy. Okay, so now those are the first two that we were discussing. Now I'm going to move on to the very first one that I was looking at. This is, did I already go through this one? I already did this one, Rizzo. Okay, so we've done 3 so far. I've got 2 more. Mary Hare here. Now these ones are kind of interesting because they have the same first name. You know, Mary's about as common as saying John, though, so it doesn't mean anything. But what's interesting is that they were both disappeared the same way. No, it wasn't Morrison. No, definitely wasn't. Second teen disappears from Edison Mall. So here we go. 2 teenage girls have disappeared. This is 1981, you know. All down in Florida. 2 teenage girls have disappeared from Edison Mall within the last month, and Fort Myers police are asking for help from residents in locating them. The most recent disappearance took place Wednesday when 18-year-old Mary Elizabeth Hare went to the mall to pick her mother up, from work, police said. The 5'5" hazel-eyed teenager who lives with her parents at, let's see where this one is, 3330 North Key Drive, Fort Myers. So it's, you know, a different part of Florida, but down here. Yeah, you wonder if that was like a house at one point. Let's see what it looked like in just 94. No, see, but we got this is clear back in 1981, so who knows what that was, what it looked like right there before. Yeah. All right, so the most recent disappearance took place Wednesday when 18-year-old Mary Elizabeth Hare went to the mall to pick up her mother from work. The 5'5" hazel-eyed teenager who lives with her parents at 3330 North Key Drive in North Fort Myers, was last seen at approximately 8:30 on the night she disappeared, police said. Is there a difference if you type in North? No. She was last seen at approximately 8:30 on the night she disappeared, police said. Her 1973 green Buick LeSabre was found unlocked in the shopping center parking lot near the Woolworth's variety store, police said. Mary Opitz, that's another girl, of 1500 College Park Way, so we'll do that one. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, so that's weird how, I mean, there's nothing there anymore. You know, it's just a parking lot, but that's where she lived before. So that goes under Opitz. Mary Opitz of 1500 College Park Way, number 2A, disappeared January 16th when she went to the very same mall at 7:30 p.m. The 17-year-old green-eyed brunette was wearing a light-colored pullover shirt when she was last seen, according to police missing persons report. Police said the disappearances of the teenagers are suspicious because neither seemed to have any reason to run away, neither took extra clothes or other personal belongings with them just before they vanished. Detectives said there is no indication that the two disappearances are related, but police are asking for anyone who may have seen one of the two to call Sergeant Steve Schween. And again, they keep bringing them both up basically every single time. Their trails vanished on the asphalt parking lot of the Edison Mall. So let's see where that is. Alright. So they both went missing from the same mall. And just not too far apart either, long apart. Huh. Isn't that interesting? How it's sort of right in the middle of both of them. I mean, literally just on the same street, too. Thank you, Daudio Caspian Horses Rock. As Fort Myers police search for clues, the missing lookalikes, related only by the terror now gripping their families, remain names and numbers on the missing persons report. So I guess they look similar, too. Yeah. Wasn't Bundy in the area around that time? Because now we are into it's past 78 at this point. They're dark hair, brunettes, he liked them. Clutching a bag of pretzels in one hand and two packages in the other, Opitz was last seen leaving a store in Edison Mall en route to her mother's car on the night of January 16th. Opitz's car was parked close to the main entrance of the mall in a lighted lock in front of Woolworth's department store. Hare arrived at Edison Mall parking lot on the night of February 11th and parked near the same area Opitz had disappeared from the month before. She had come to pick up her mother. The rendezvous never took place. Wow, so both of them went there to pick up their mothers at the mall? Let's see. Same Opitz had disappeared from the month before. I think they're just referring back to that. In the stilted language of police reports, complaint number, yeah. Let me get over here. 20 days after Opitz vanished, the parking lot gave up another girl. Name was Mary Elizabeth Hare, age 18, eyes hazel, hair brown, born New York, missing from Edison Mall. There are other similarities. Both girls once attended North Fort Myers High School, their parents say. The parents don't know if the girls knew each other. The parents have met each other since the girls vanished. So they met each other since then. Opitz's mother, Nancy McClam, said Sunday her daughter and Hare frequented the same North Fort Myers marina. She doesn't know if they ever met there, she said. Opitz was a salad girl at the marina. The Hares told me their daughter also went to the marina sometimes. She talked to people on the boats there. So did my daughter, McClam said. Both girls were wearing blue jeans on the night they vanished. Neither had money on them. Both vanished while their mothers were inside the mall. Oh, so they were. Both their mothers were in the mall. Wow. What are the odds of that? Who takes their mom to the mall anyway? I mean, it's just, that's just such a weird similarity. Mary said she was going to wait for us at the car. We were shopping. She didn't have any money, and I bought her a bag of pretzels. Hey, thank you, Gwen. I appreciate it. Let's see. We had bought 2 shirts and she took them with her to the car also. Wow, so let's see. Mary said she was going to wait for us at the car.
Happy Friday, Gray and Freaks. No place else I would rather be.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so that's Mary Hare. So Mary Hare said she was going to wait for us at the car. We were shopping. She didn't have any money, and I bought her a bag of pretzels. So they were in the mall together then, apparently. We had bought 2 shirts, and she took them with her to the car also. About an hour later, McClam and her son, so they stayed in the mall for a little bit. That seems like a long time to, hey, I'll meet you in the car, and then it's an hour later. I mean, you should have kept, I don't know. There's a lot of should-haves out there. But about a half hour later, McClam and her son Billy left the store. No, it's just a half hour. That's not a lot. Left the store and walked to the car. Opitz was gone. The bag of pretzels and the 2 shirts were atop of the car's trunk. Oh, so you know exactly how that went down, right? She put the stuff on top of the car, was about to unlock it, and then the person came up and did something. And so it's in the evening, it looks like. So it was probably dark outside. Let's see. Yeah, in February. Pitch, it's as dark as you can get. And he probably had a weapon on him, probably a knife, gun, something like that. Oh, that's just, God. I'll just think of all the years the parents are having to freak out about that. Let's see, on the night of February 11th, Hare drove to the mall from North Fort Myers home to pick up her mother. But I thought it was, it was the other Mary a minute ago, okay? Because they're both named Mary. That's what's weird about it. So it was Mary Opitz. It was the one that went to the mall with her mom. I think she's 17. On the night of February 11th, Hare drove to the mall from her North Fort Myers home to pick up her mother, who worked in a store at the mall. She had picked her mother up many other nights, her parents said. But on that night, Hare never reached her mother. Her green Buick was found empty. The car was unlocked. The keys were gone. She always locked the car when she left, said her father. So that means, again, like in her case, she probably pulled up to the mall and was just getting out of the vehicle, had the keys in her hand, and hadn't even had time to lock the door yet, and was confronted. That's what I would say in that case. She always locked the car when she left it, and her father, Donald Hare. Mary Hare had a part-time job at a store in Edison Mall. She attended classes at Edison Community College. She was a good student, her father said. There were no problems at home. She's not a runaway, he said. Opitz had quit school in the 10th grade, her mother said. At the time of her disappearance, she was studying for her high school equivalent test. As he tries to find a trace of the missing girls, Fort Myers detective Stu Jennings ponders other recent complaints made to his office by women shoppers at the Edison Mall. Jennings said his office has had reports from shoppers that a man had recently been strolling the mall asking young women if they were interested in posing for nude photographs. I don't think that's what happened in these cases. Seems different to me. That report was made about 1 week ago. There have been reports of a man following women at the mall. See, this guy seems like somebody who's more, a hunter, just waiting and then boom, hits and then takes off. He doesn't follow people around in a mall. Could be, but just doesn't sound the same to me. There have been reports of a man following women at the mall. One girl reported being followed in the mall parking lot by a guy in a green car with no tags. She said a day or so later, she saw the same guy in the mall following her, Jennings said. but lawmen have been unable to locate the man, he said. Edison Mall manager Ralph Freeland said Sunday is not surprised by those reports. Right. I don't know if it's the same guy. That sounds different. On January 25th, a woman reported to lawmen that a man attacked her as she entered her car in the mall. See, this one here sounds similar. So, on January 25th, a woman reported to lawmen that a man attacked her as she entered her car. There you go, listen to that. In the mall parking lot. So she was just about to open. Both the first two girls were just about to open up the car. You know, the other one was just getting out of the car and was about to lock it, but they're both outside of the car now. On January 25th, a woman reported to lawmen that a man attacked her as she entered her car in the mall parking lot. She claimed she was driven to a spot near the airport and raped. A 16-year-old youth, Kelly Sanders of Fort Myers, had been indicted on rape charges and is in jail in connection. Wow, so that's the 16-year-old. So that was before, but doesn't that sound exactly similar? You know, it just kind of shows you there's a lot of sickos out there. Freeland said the mall had added 2 more security guards since Hare's disappearance, February 11th. There are 8 full-time and 2 part-time guards at the mall. Opitz and Hare are not the first women to have vanished from the mall. In 1978, 3 women were abducted from the Edison Mall and taken to a wooded area in Pine Island by a man with a knife. The women were robbed, tied up, and later rescued. John Warren Edding of Canton, Illinois, later was arrested as he returned to the mall in a stolen car. He was convicted of the crimes and sentenced to 90 years in prison. In December 1980, Edding escaped from a North Florida prison and abducted 2 doctors on different occasions. The doctors later were released unharmed. Lawmen say Edding still is at large. Oh boy. Wow. So you got a 90-year sentence and then he was at large during this time? That sounds like a pretty good suspect. Thanks, Sarah M. Huh, that's wild. So what's this guy's name again? John Warren Edding. Hold on a second. That sounds like a serial killer name, doesn't it? I mean, it's just John Warren Edding. Now, so this is 1980. He pulled a knife on a doctor at the hospital emergency room where Eddings was being treated for an arm injury and threatening to kill him unless corrections officers handed over his revolver. Oh, wow. So, God, the correction officer for handing over the revolver should have got fired. You know? Miss Ortenzi said she was returning to her car in a parking lot in Gainesville department store Tuesday night with some Christmas packages when Eddings approached her with a gun and ordered her into her car. What the hell? This is December 24th, 1980. What time? When is this article? This is 3 months prior to that. She said they drove to Jacksonville where Eddings made one phone call and then took Interstate 10 to Tallahassee. During the time they were together, Eddings did not molest her, she said. They ate breakfast together at the motel Wednesday morning. She says she was treated extremely well by the individual and was not physically harmed in any way. Eddings asked Miss Ortenzi to give him an hour and a half before notifying police, which she did. He then drove off in her 1980 white Mazda. Wow, what a helpful doctor. Wow. Or whatever she was. Langston said an arrangement, I don't think she was a doctor, she was just at a mall, were being made for Miss Hortensi to return to Gainesville by bus. Eddings threatened to kill the physician if correctional officer C.J. Murphy did not hand over his service revolver. After taking the gun, he gave it to him. Just blow his brains out. He didn't have time to stab anybody. After taking the gun, he forced Freeman to accompany him and made his getaway in a white prison van. It was spotted Monday night by a sheriff's deputy, but Eddings had ordered Freeman to pull over to the side of the State Road 47 where he jumped out and disappeared. Police said Eddings had stolen a car. God, so, I mean, I'm just doing this sort of stream of consciousness shit. But, you know, did they ever catch this guy? Here, let me check it out. Okay, this talks about when he escaped. Wow. So just nothing. Did he ever get caught? Okay, let's see. Okay, in December 1980, Eddings escaped. Oh, so he was... Wait, in 1978, 3 women were abducted. Yeah, and then he got arrested on his way back. Did they ever catch this guy, though? I think I'm reading right there was the same article I was just looking at. I don't think... Did they ever catch him or what? I mean... That's amazing. I don't know. Why don't you guys look it up? I can't find that he was ever captured. How weird is that? He had a 90-year sentence, escape, and that's it. Unreal. Coincidence? Mystery linked to missing Marys. They are both named Mary. One is 17, the other 18. They both vanished 4 weeks apart from the same parking lot of a sprawling Fort Myers shopping center just outside the Fort Worth Woolworth store. Yeah, I think they're definitely related to the deaths. Both were good kids. Neither had ever been in trouble. Both were shopping. Both were young and pretty. Both clad in blue jeans, which everybody has. Both spent happy childhoods on Long Island. Well, that's weird. Both had attended the same Fort Myers High School after their family moved to Florida. Both talk with a trace of New York accent, but there is no evidence that they knew each other except perhaps in passing. The two Marys look alike. Both wear their brown hair shoulder length. They weigh within 5 pounds of each other. Stand within an inch of each other. Their ears are pierced. Neither had ever run away. Yet both disappeared from a bustling shopping center without leaving a trace, like footprints on sea-washed sand. It is one problem finding the girls, said Fort Myers Police Captain Elvin Washburn. It is another to keep the parents from going completely off their rockers. The limbo is what kills you. The captain is not sure crime has been committed. He does not know. Yeah, that's what I said earlier, Dadio, that Ted Bundy likes brunettes. Both of them are brunettes, and apparently he was in the area after 78, right? Mary Opitz, 17, green-eyed, 105 pounds, vanished Friday night, January 16th. Mary, her brother, and her mother, Nancy McClam, drove to the Edison Mall about 6:30 p.m. The mother parked her 1979 Burgundy Camaro in a space in front of Woolworths. They shopped for a while. The mall was crowded. Mary grew tired, her mother said. She said she was hungry. She was not carrying her purse. Her mother bought her a 25-cent bag of pretzels. Carrying a few parcels and the pretzels. Let's see. Man, is this the one that I couldn't find the second page? Man, I want to read that one. Maybe it's this one. Hold on. Does it go to Mary? Yeah, I think that might be it. I just didn't number it right. So let's see. Carrying a few parcels and the pretzels. Okay, I think this is the same article, but it starts over here. I can see it. Grew tired, her mother said. She said she was hungry. She was not carrying a purse. Her mother bought her a 25-cent sack of pretzels. Carrying a few parcels and the pretzels, Mary returned to the car to wait. It was 7:30 p.m. 20 minutes later, the mother was ready to leave. She found the parcels and sack of pretzels atop of the Camaro trunk. I thought she must be right nearby, said the mother. That was almost 4 months ago. Mary was saving her money to buy a van, her mother said. She was proud of her bank account. It remains untouched. A paycheck waited at the Mariners Inn where Mary worked as a salad girl. She was in the midst of redecorating her room. The braces on her teeth were due to be removed at long last in a few weeks. But despite the suspicious circumstances, there was no great official alarm. Teenagers often disappear, usually at their own whim, rebelling against authority, battling with parents eager for a new experience. They strike out on their own. Usually, they do not go penniless on cold nights without extra clothes or identification. Mary Hare, hazel-eyed, 110 pounds, vanished Wednesday night, February 11th. She was at home folding her clothes, fresh out of the dryer, when she noticed the time and called to her dad. It's time to go pick up Mom. Mariel, her mother, is a clerk at the Woolworth store. Mary, an Edison Community College student, worked part-time at the learner shop next door to Woolworth's. Mary dashed out of the house. Her father, Donald, called after her. It's cold. You better take a jacket. I'll only be a couple of minutes, she said, and I'll be in the car. She left at 8:30 p.m. The mall is a 10-minute drive away. She parked her 1973 green and black Buick LeSabre right in front of the Woolworths. There is a little time lapse, 15 to 20, unaccounted for minutes in each case, the captain says, perplexed. The lot is well lit. At 9:05 p.m., Mary Hare's mother emerged from Woolworths, so she left at 8:30, and she was supposed to be there in 10 minutes. At 9:05 p.m., Mary Hare's mother emerges from the Woolworth and spotted the Buick. It was empty, so that means she had got there and abducted right away. That is contrary to her nature, leaving the car unlocked, her father says. She was very careful, very conscientious. Some of those words are ones I added in there. Oh, I thought you guys said that he was out in 78 yesterday. Okay, so forget it. Couldn't have been him. That's right. You said he was in jail from 78 to 89. There's a time lapse of 15 to 20 unaccounted for minutes in each case. Yeah, well, that's just... Why is that perplexing? It just means that, in one case, the kid got there and, her mom probably got tired of waiting in the store, so then went out to the car. And she'd already been abducted. In the other case, the kid went out to the car because she got tired of being in the store and was eating pretzels and had just got to the car, perhaps even just setting her food on the hood and was going to eat it out there and just kind of chill out, and she was abducted. So she left at 8:30. The mall is 10 minutes, so she would have got there at 8:40. She parked her 1973 green and black Buick. There is a time lapse of 15 to 20 unaccounted for minutes in each case, the captain says, perplexed. I don't know why you'd be perplexed. The lot is well lit. At 9:05 p.m., Mary Hare's mother emerged from the Woolworth and spotted the Buick. It was empty, unlocked. That is contrary to her nature, leaving the car unlocked, her father says. She was very careful, very conscientious. A still unclaimed paycheck was waiting for Mary Hare in the learner shop. No one there saw her that night. At home, Mary Hare had $60 tucked in a dresser drawer. It was still there. She expected a $400 income tax return. The check arrived 2 weeks later. When her father reported her missing, hours after, he learned for the first time of the other missing Mary. Donald Hare, 48, a retired cop from Nassau County, has searched for his daughter virtually full-time since February 11th. So, Mary Hare's dad was a police officer. Donald Hare, 48, okay, and he's crisscrossed the state in pursuit of elusive shadows, sifting hundreds of clues, talking to dozens of strangers, checking out reports of a dozen unidentified young bodies, remaining stubbornly optimistic. Although a statewide missing persons alert was issued, the father has traveled to police departments, large and small, throughout the state to make sure they know his daughter is missing. Her face smiles from thousands of flyers he has distributed. Donald Hare says his daughter had a boyfriend in New York. They were talking marriage and were in constant touch. Her young man has not heard from her either. Last week, $10,000 reward for the safe return of Mary Hare was offered by the Palm City Kiwanis Club. Yeah, it blows. Yeah, so I think... So this is June 2nd now. Hold on a second. Now we're at June 2nd. Let me get the article out. Body found near Lehigh Acres, that of teen missing from mall. So she was found. Mary Hare was. It's just ridiculous, right? I mean, you'd think, okay, she's missing. See, but this is what... at least she was found, but at the same time, it gives you no hope. Because even when I was telling, when you're reading the story, I forgot that she was one of the ones that was found, and you're always having a little bit of hope, right? So it's sort of like this mini version. Like, when I say mini, I mean extremely mini version of what actual families go through for years and years and months until something, a development happens. You know, but just that little thing right there just shows you that little tiniest glimpse. I'd say like 1/8 of a, I mean, not even a percent. The grisly remains of a body found near Lehigh Acres Saturday have been identified as Mary Elizabeth Hare, a hazel-eyed teenager who was one of 2 women who vanished from the Edison Mall parking lot early this year. So now you know the other one's dead too. They just never found her. And that's just the truth. That means that Mary Opitz is dead. I mean, I really feel strongly that those are the same people abducted. The same person abducted both of these people. These women. The identity of the 18-year-old Edison Community College student who lived with their parents at 3330 North Key Drive in North Fort Myers was established through dental records. Hare's badly decomposed body was discovered. See, this is in June, so we're talking 4 months or so after she went missing. Was discovered lying face down in a sandy field off Alabama Road. Here, let's do this. Alabama Road and Road 80. Oh, there you go. Right there. So, yeah, it's not even that far away. Okay, so the description is, Hare's badly decomposed body was discovered lying face down in a sandy field off Alabama Road near State Road 82. Okay, so this is State Road 82, and that's, okay, is that still Alabama Road over here? Alabama Road S. But it's also, you know, let's see. Florida 82 and Alabama Road South. Okay. So it's just near there. I bet you it's on this side, maybe. So, anyway, she was just found generally in this area. Okay. And then that mall. So, God, look how crazy that is. So they lived right here. She gets up really quick, drives over to the mall, right? I think that's this case. No, wait, she's the 19-year-old, so she's the one. Yeah, she went there to pick up her mom, right? So she hurries over to the mall, and she disappears. And then her body's found way over here. So the person abducted her, got on this freeway, drove over to a place he probably knew about, you know, that there wasn't a lot of people around. Let's see what happens if you go back to 94. Fortunately, you can't see a damn thing. How about... Okay, so even 99, look at that. There's nothing. See all these roads right here? Look at all those. Those roads are still there, but there isn't one. It looks like they've just started laying down the framework to put houses there, but there's nothing built yet. So that means back in like 1980, those are completely blank right there. And there must have been a sandy patch off in a direction. And even over here, you know, it looks totally different. I mean, look at watch when I move it forward, watch this. I mean, that's absolutely filled. Every single area's got a house in it. Then you go back to 95, nothing. So that person knew that there was not much going on out there. Yeah. Hare's badly decomposed body was discovered lying face down in a sandy field off Alabama Road near State Road 82 by an elderly couple at about 3 p.m. Saturday. The body was garbed in a lavender long-sleeve sweater and green corduroy dungarees. Graves, who was called to the scene Saturday... Well, I thought she was wearing jeans, though. Graves, who called the scene Saturday, said a pair of ankle-high suede shoes were lying near the body and were presumed to be Hare's. Graves said that other than the shoes, the woman was fully clothed. She said the body is too badly decomposed to determine if the woman had been raped. Hare was the only woman who vanished from a... was one of two women, who vanished from a lighted mall parking lot within 20 days of each other. The other woman, Mary Opitz, 17, of North Fort Myers, vanished from the mall parking lot January 16th. Graves said Monday he may send some of Hare's remains to the University of Florida professor of anthropology. I thought they had both had jeans on, didn't they? Graves said he suspected the body might be either that of Hare or Opitz because the decomposition of the remains was compatible with the time period. It's a match, it's the Hare girl, Graves said. He then called Fort Myers police, who have been searching for Hare and Opitz since February. So you know she's out there too, right? Like, hey, thank you, Pamela. All right. We almost got up to a normal day by the time it was over. For a minute there, it was like... I don't know. I think I would call them jeans, not dungarees, since every other article called them jeans, right? And they also said that they were green. And they were corduroy. See, look at sleeves, green corduroy dungarees. That doesn't sound like jeans to me there, Michael. But hey, thanks though. Yeah, corduroy dungarees, you know. Jeans have a different look to them. I don't think anybody goes, oh, do you got a pair of jean corduroys? No, they weren't. They called them jeans in every single article except this one. That's a different type of pant. Sorry. Nice try, though. Let's see. They were corduroy. Corduroy aren't jeans. Let's just get that. Let's stipulate to that, all right? Graves said a gold chain broken in several spots was around the woman's neck. He said he does not know if the chain might have been used to strangle her. Well, it seemed like the chain would break. Nah, it's not, Michael. Sorry, man. And what does that mean? Look it up something? The skeleton was mummified. There were no broken bones and no bullets. So probably she was strangled to death is what I would think. But they're corduroy, everybody. Who cares? Do you get what I'm saying? They don't make corduroy jeans, right? Good Lord. And it's not capitalized. So they're not a brand. I mean, you guys like overthink stuff sometimes. It's really, you know. In every other article, they said they both wore blue jeans, you know, or jeans. They didn't say they both wore green corduroy dungarees. You don't see how that's different? My God, what's going on here? Did everybody just drop some acid or something? Or Yeah. Right. They're overalls, right? And the thing is they said she had green corduroy dungarees. So that's different than the other articles. You guys agree with that, or? Yeah, let's go back in time. Let's go find that one. All right, here we go. Here we go. They both vanished 4 weeks apart. Both were good kids. Both were wearing green corduroy. Just kidding. Doesn't say that. Both were shopping. Both were young and pretty. Both clad in blue jeans. Okay? Hello? It says they were both clad in blue jeans. All right? Mary Hare and Mary Opitz. So when you get to the last article there, and it starts talking about how she had on green corduroy dungarees. That doesn't sound like the same thing to me. Yeah, what articles? I mean, I can't even find that one article that I had open. I don't think it was this one, was it? And then it was... Yeah, so this is actually them removing the body. Dr. Wallace Graves Wright, an unidentified man, carried the body found Saturday. Hey, Michael, you're just plain wrong, okay, guy? So you can keep going over and over and over again. You're just not right. All right? We have to put you on timeout because you just keep going, blabbing over and over again. Blue jeans and then green corduroy dungarees. Yep, everybody, those are the same. All right, missing person case says baffled Fort Myers police. Hare vanished from a lighted... You know what? They actually had a map in here. Right here. So this sort of showed where they said her body was. So let's see if we can get that going. Okay, so it's on the other side, it looks like. And they even have this road, how it curves up like this. So they have it kind of over in that area. It's like over here-ish, like right around there. You know, of course it doesn't look like that now, but... Well, it's just moronic to keep arguing over... Listen, does anybody in here, if somebody said to you, well, one girl was wearing blue jeans and the other one was wearing green corduroy dungarees, would any of you go, oh, okay, so they were wearing the same thing? If you would think that, then that means you're psycho. You're a wacko person, okay? Green corduroy dungarees, and the other one was wearing blue jeans. Give me a break, you. So why is there this argument that this guy keeps putting in here? It's ridiculous. It's like a little kid trying to... You know what it is? It reminds me of politics when people try to make their argument work. Even when they're wrong, they keep throwing something in. It's just not correct, okay? Now, if the original article said they were both wearing dungarees, they were either blue or green, then I would think so. Yeah, I mean, especially the word blue and the other word green, right? And then corduroy, right? Jeans aren't corduroy. I don't even think there's such a thing as corduroy jeans. They're totally different things. Corduroys have those little tiny slots in them, you know? Oshkosh Bagosh? That's what it was. It's Oshkosh Bagosh. You know what? Why don't we just all start wearing garanimals, right? It was really easy at that point. You just lined up the little animal and bought the... Well, I call it whatever I call it. I don't say ribbed. Let's see. What the hell is this? I mean, I saw somebody else typed ribbed in up above, but I wasn't going to pretend that that's a word that I used. I did work at Nordstrom's, though, for a while. Believe it or not. In men's sportswear department. Yeah, the guy couldn't let it go. He kept trying to tell me how blue jeans are the same thing as green corduroy dungarees. Corduroy dungarees. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's good stuff. Yeah, so that's them carrying her body out in a bag, it looks like. So, obviously, her body's decomposed. They can't find anything specific. So maybe it means that she was strangled, right? Oh, no, she was a stabbing victim. So they were able to say later, wow, that's messed up. So that's probably how she was even abducted, at knife point. An 18-year-old woman who was abducted from the Edison Mall nearly 4 months ago was murdered, authorities said Wednesday. Well, of course she was murdered, right? Mary Hare was stabbed at least twice in the back, according to Dr. William Maples, a noted forensic anthropologist. Hare drove to the mall to pick her mother up from work on February 11th. Her mother, Muriel, later found the family car in the parking lot. Her daughter's purse was still in the front seat of the unlocked car. Yeah, I mean, I think she got abducted right as she was, getting out of the vehicle. Saturday, a collector searching for rocks for a rock garden, hey, just like a mushroom hunter, found skeletal remains of a body that was later identified as the missing teenager. The body was lying face down in a desolate wooded area near the intersection of 46th Street Southwest and Elva Avenue. Okay, now we can really... Let's see how close that random... Looking at a map. Okay, so that's 49th. 8... Okay, it's a little bit farther up then. "46th Street and Elva Avenue." All right, where's Elva? Oh, there you go, right there. So that wasn't too far off, just eyeballing. So let's see what it looked like in 95. Oh yeah, look at that. Nothing. Hardly anything there at all. And then imagine 15 years before that, there was probably absolutely nothing as well. The body was lying face down in a desolate wooded area near the intersection of 46th Street Southwest and Elva Avenue. It was severely decomposed and mummified, authorities have said. On Wednesday, Sam Johnson, chief investigator with the medical examiner's office in Fort Myers, drove the skeletal remains to Maples. Maybe I should know how to say those different terms for clothes since I worked there. I will, from now on, have the word corduroy with ribs in it. On Wednesday, Sam Johnson, chief investigator with the medical examiner's office in Fort Myers, drove the skeletal remains to Maples in hopes of determining the cause of death. Maples responded several hours later, stating certain marks on the bones. So there's probably a little cut mark on the bones. were the result of at least 2 stab wounds. See, he's the kind of this Michael guy is one of the people that you could discuss with him in the Delphi case and give him absolute proof, but they already believe something, so they'll keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. Maples responded several hours later stating certain marks on the bones. So a lot of times you'll see like a divot on the bones in there. Dr. Maples is nationally recognized. I'm laughing at the comments in there. Nationally recognized forensic anthropologist. Let's see. This type of investigation is extremely hard due to the amount of time the body was exposed to the elements. So they did find her. So let me. Mary Hare. Let me type something in here. That's a Reddit post. I didn't even see that one. God. It's just amazing. Sounds like a serial killer just got away with everything. Okay, and I got a couple on Opitz. I'm just going to move forward to the... so this one, Missing Marys again. And then this is her right here. Mother stays hopeful on anniversary. This article is from January 2017. Yeah, there goes my stomach. Man. Like he's psycho. He spent all that time looking up the damn dungarees again. He can't accept that he's wrong, so he's trying to spin it around. Green corduroy dungarees now equal. You know what? Let's do this. Let's call up Encyclopedia Britannica and have them put the word blue jeans and tell them to change their damn definition. Because in the definition of blue jeans, it should say right next to it, green corduroy dungarees. How ridiculous. Yeah, they all kind of they looked similar. That's what they were saying. There was a lot of similarities. Now, let's see. Mary Opitz couldn't have been more than 5 minutes ahead of them, her mother Nancy Hoffman told Dateline. But it only took those few minutes to change their families' lives forever. I thought it was 30 minutes that they were shopping extra. It's every single day. You think about it every single day. Those days have formed all these years now, Nancy told Dateline. It's crazy to think about how long it's been. Hey, look at another Dateline one. Yeah, get on that phone. Get a hold of Encyclopedia Britannica. Will you hurry up and make that call? Thank you. Tell them they've got it all wrong. And then have them type in, you know what they should do too, is they type in green corduroy dungarees, and then have only pictures of Levi's next to it. You know, because they're blue jeans, you know, let's change the color even. Don't even put green on them. Okay. That's a good one, Alifair. On our way out, I had run into someone. I knew that we were let's see. It was January 16th, 1981, when Nancy took her youngest daughter, Mary, 17, and one of her sons to the Edison Mall in Fort Myers, Florida. They had a present to buy for a family friend. You know, see, the thing is, it took them 4 months to find the other Mary. I bet you anything she's out there somewhere as well, and she was decomposed even sooner, and maybe animals. I mean, they just didn't find her for a really long period of time. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if she's sort of in that general area. On our way out, I had to run into someone. No, I had run into someone I knew, and we were talking. Mary didn't want to wait. See, this sounds different than what they were saying early. Like the mother said she had other shopping to do, and it took a half hour, but now it's a little different. We were talking. Mary didn't want to wait, so she said she'd meet us at the car. Her brother stayed with me. Let's see. It couldn't have been more than 5 minutes until we got to the car. I don't know. You know what I believe? The original reporting. Because this is 40 years later, and it's for an article. She probably doesn't remember it that clearly now. Because it was totally different before, and it made more sense, actually. The packages and bags Mary had been carrying were left on, and she doesn't even mention the pretzels, which was really prevalent in all of the other articles. The packages and bags Mary had been carrying were left on top of the car. There was no sign of what happened or where she had gone. Nancy knew immediately something wasn't right. Did I think she just took off? Not at all, Nancy told Dateline. Family members contacted police later that night after several hours passed without word from Mary. But they weren't taken seriously at first, according to Nancy. It was frustrating. She said police told her Mary was a teenager and perhaps she simply took off. Yeah, that's what they always say. Less than a month later, they had another case. That was the other Mary. And on February 11th, 1981, another teen, also named Mary, headed to the parking lot wearing blue jeans, which are now called green corduroy dungarees. Doesn't really say that, everybody. Yeah, but this isn't related to Adam Walsh at all. It's just not the same MO. When Mary Hare's mother came outside, she discovered her daughter's vehicle parked and unlocked, according to newspaper reports from the Times. This is the other case. So the two Marys at the same mall were abducted within a month of each other. It would be 4 months before someone made the grisly discovery of Mary Hare's decomposing body in a ditch. Both teens attended the same high school and frequented the same restaurant where Mary Opitz worked as a dishwasher. Her mother Nancy told Dateline they were strikingly similar in appearance. It's unclear if they knew one another. The eerie echoes of their cases still nag at Nancy. There had to be something going on at the time, she told Dateline. We thought whoever got my daughter, Mary, maybe meant to get the other girl or something. I don't think so. Had a certain look. That's just a preference. Some of these killers, they just have a certain look that they like. Now Michael wants to put me in jail for his the green dungarees. You deserve to be in jail. That was ridiculous. So they've never officially linked the two cases. Right. But they're linked. I think it's kind of obvious they're linked because they're just absolutely the same. Same mall, same everything. The killer had a look that he liked. He liked the dark-haired. And so they have a picture of what she would look like. I just think that is... I would be absolutely shocked if she's alive somewhere. I can't believe she's not out there, Nancy told Dateline. Yeah, well, it just doesn't make any sense that she is. I think it's illegal to pay cops to put somebody in jail, isn't it? Anyways, I think that's it, everybody. Didn't you guys? I thought those were pretty interesting. All of them. There's something, the first one we talked about, the Debra Rizzo, that one's just weird. You know, her dad was supposed to pick her up, and then she's found dead on the, within a block of her home after 10 days or so. Almost completely decomposed because of the weather. Yeah, I like them too. I like mixing it up a little bit. You know, missing people, cold cases. Some of them are missing people, cold cases, like this one. Mary, was it Opitz? Yeah, it costs a lot more to pay for me to go into jail than to get me out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, thanks. Awesome. So tomorrow I'm going to keep working on my new set. It'll be so cool if it actually works the way I want it to. I think I'm going to have other windows too, and then this thing that is inside that kind of shuts all the windows, and then they start up again as soon as it rotates. Wow, look at that on the screen right now. Only channel members and mods are typing right now. Isn't that amazing? Is there anybody even in here that's not? Oh yeah, Michael. But yes, we've learned a lot tonight, especially that blue jeans are now considered to be green corduroy dungarees, everybody. Yeah, I like finding those. There's a whole bunch more in Florida. I'm just going to keep going through them. There's like tons. Tons and tons of them. Yeah, that's right. Blue jeans are... Hey, leave that person there. Don't get rid of that one idiot right there. Blue jeans are green ribbed corduroys. See, you weren't supposed to get rid of that person. I just said that. Oh yeah. You know what? I was just that total dork, you know? Some people probably think I still am, but I wore the when everyone else was wearing 501s, I was wearing corduroy, like the I did catch on after a while though. Oh, you're asking if you're an idiot, Michael? Yeah, I would say so, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I still have some, but they actually have, well, I got them when I was working at Nordstrom's. They have the what do you call those? The suspender straps on them. I used to have like all these cool ties and everything. You'd never recognize me. Yeah, no, you could, but you asked me if you were an idiot, and I said sure. Isn't What's that face for there, Vicky Ballard? No, I didn't look like, because Larry King doesn't look good in anything, okay? Isn't that amazing? We wasted about 20 minutes with a clown that wanted to try to sell everybody that when 3 news articles say, hey, they both wore blue jeans, we're supposed to accept when another article says that she was found wearing green corduroy dungarees. And I said, hey, I think that's not the same thing. Oh, yes, it is, everybody. Look it up. You know what that is? That's called gaslighting. You know, it's like, I don't like using that word because it's overused by specific YouTubers over and over again. But it doesn't mean that. Okay? Well, I had a Coke today. Oh, you mean water? Yeah, well, look it up, man, because water is the same thing as Coca-Cola. Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll be Chewbacca.
That's right, I'm so mean. Oh, I know who that one was. You know what that probably was? Who was that person? RH? That's who that was a minute ago. Right, Zozo? You know what the weirdest part about that is? Why would somebody come out of a door? I mean, like, Cairo goes out of a door, and then the first thing that lady does is make that sound. Like, what's going on there? Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there, Clint Tratt. We just had to spend 20 minutes arguing with somebody about it. Because they were just so sure. You know what gave it away for me, everybody? The word green, okay? You know, when the other guy said there was wearing blue jeans, and as soon as green anything is mentioned, you immediately go, oh, wow, that doesn't sound like blue jeans. Yes, I went to the store and I bought some green jeans right next to... Oh, look at that. Discerning Light had the same thought that I did. Yes, I went to the store and bought some green jeans today. They were absolutely fantastic. They 501 green jeans. They don't wear out the same. In fact, after a while, you look weird wearing them. Chewbacca? Susanna Macchiola Padraig dungarees are a one-piece garment consisting of pants, a piece of cloth which covers your chest, and strap, which go over your shoulders. At school, ours weren't denim. Yeah, well, either were these. They were corduroy, is what I'm trying to tell you. I could buy it if you said, oh yeah, well there's some...
Dungarees are a one-piece garment consisting of pants, a piece of cloth which covers your chest, and straps which go over your shoulders. At school, ours weren't denim.
Yeah, well here's the thing is, I know that there's probably denim dungarees. I just looked them up, just because I was like, what are you talking about? But the thing that made it different is they were green corduroy dungarees, okay? Green corduroy has nothing to do with jeans. There isn't even a hint of jean in there. Well, no, just corduroy are different than jeans. You don't need to say ribbed anything, okay? Corduroy necessarily means that, the ribbed thing, but you don't need to say rib. You just need to say corduroy or jeans. They're not the same thing whatsoever. Now, if you can tell me where to buy some corduroy jeans, let me know, all right? Yep, everybody has denim dungarees. Yep, those are what farmers wear. Yep. You got it. You nailed it. Walmart. Oh, shit. Yeah. Well, they do make blue corduroy pants. Okay. They do make those. They're just not blue jeans. I mean, they have stuff that, you know, when you look them up, they call themselves make your own jeans. Ah, shit, I don't know. I guess you can make them for yourself. Look at all these sleuths out there. We've all figured out that they're not the same thing. Awesome. Excellent. I don't know what the deal is with there. They may have just got it wrong. I mean, for example, when Mary Hare left her house to go pick up her mom, well, how does, you know, that's the one that they actually found. How do they know? How do they know that she had on blue jeans? Because her dad said, "Oh yeah, I remember." You know, come on, the dads aren't really up on anything like that at all. So she goes over there. Nobody knows what she was wearing, for sure, right? I know it is. Isn't that great? This, not that. Yeah. Okay, I'll do that one. Yeah, I know it is. Listen, this channel is boring for idiots, okay? That's the truth. Idiots are bored because they need the quick fix, you know, the Morphew, the Chris Watts case. You know what's funny is I saw this other YouTuber today. They put out a video yesterday. You know what was on the title of it? I mean, you just wouldn't believe it. Oh, hold on. I won't even show you the thing it said, but this is what it says on the title of it. Take a guess. And this is just from yesterday. Listen to this title. Watts, Morphew, Valo, Delphi. Guess come on, let's chat some true crime. Wow, you put in every single one of the most, you know, the big names just to get people in there. Listen to that. Watts, Morphew, Valo, Delphi. All four of the cases that, let's see. Yeah, exactly. That these YouTubers that just started up all talk about. And then you put them all in one title. Boy, that's going to work. I don't know. I hate chocolate. Sometimes people don't see your comments, okay? You know? So your comment sounds idiotic. I don't even care that you're a channel member. Is this channel serious about these old cases?
Are you serious about them? You asked me about Eddings' escape arrest, incarceration, and criticized I posted it above.
Hey, you know what? Don't act like a baby, okay? Yes, we're serious about it. I didn't see your damn comment. Why not just say, hey, Gray, you know, say look at, or whatever the hell it is. God, what an idiot. Jesus. People are just so rude and stupid, you know, it's just... Yeah, where above? Do I have to scroll like a half mile up to go find it? Yeah, I asked earlier, okay? So, you know, all you have to do is be polite about it. You're just a joke, you know? Yeah, you know, and then you go, oh, gosh, Gray, you're overeating. No, it's not. That's not at all. When did you type it in? Okay, so type it in again. What do you got for me? Let's hear it. What do you got? Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, those really are stupid. No, I didn't see that one. Well, you asked. Yeah, I asked. What, about an hour ago? Right, and I'm not staring at the screen. I'm reading stuff. And then by the time I look back over, it might have scrolled by what you said. Look at, and then way up there, you said it again. I just had to scroll a mile up. You asked for Eddings' incarceration and release dates. I provided them above. Are 2 L's invisible here? Well, they are now, okay? You are, anyways. What a ridiculous person. Good work. Good work. Just really good, solid work there. Thank you. Did anybody see what she typed in, or he, or whatever the hell it is? And what was the gist of it? Did he get rearrested and put back in? Oh, Jesus. Why don't you just not be as rude, I hate chocolate? Why not just type it in again later? Say, hey, Gray, did you see this? The Eddings on blah, 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 blah. Okay? Nobody's, the world doesn't revolve around you, okay? I'm literally, I see maybe a quarter of the comments because I'm doing a show. Now, once I'm done with it, I start seeing all the comments, and that's when I saw your first comment. Okay? Do you understand that? I'm not like the other channels who stare at the chat for the entire show. I'm literally presenting stuff that I went and researched. Oh, look at the passive aggressiveness now. I was trying to help. Oh, I was just trying to help, Gray. Why are you being so mean? Yeah, well, you know what? If you're trying to help, you wouldn't have been so rude on your first comment. Back, after when I finally saw one of your comments. Okay? I wasn't reading all of your chat. Is that what you want me to do, everybody? On the show? Because that's what I'll start doing from now on. I'll be like all the other clowns who sit there and stare endlessly at the screen over and over again, because apparently that's what people like. They just sit there and go, oh yeah, wow, okay, yeah, totally, I get that one. A missing person. Okay, the one somebody type in, look at, and the other one said, I hate chocolate. What's your name? Thank you, I'm for you. No, hell no, very, very serious about the case. Do you realize how much work Gray puts in? This is reminding me of Curious George, non-syllable planet, downward. Sure, I hate chocolate. I'd like to have the answer to that. I just don't know why you didn't type it in again instead of being rude with your comment. Because it wasn't me that was rude, it was you. Yeah, remember that Curious George? Wow. I mean, I read some just sporadically when I'm taking a break after reading 4 or 5 pages of these. I mean, I think it's pretty cool the way we do it, because by the time you're done, you know what all the spots look like. It's almost as if you were there. I mean, we can't be at all the crime scenes like everybody tells you gotta be. Oh, wow. What the hell? Oh, man. What is this thing? Wow. What is that in my mouth? Is that a rainbow? What is that thing? Sarah Beth Cola Grass. Well, you might disagree, Michael, but you're wrong. Okay, that's like 1 + 1 does equal 2. Let's see. But yes, I will. I will agree to that you are wrong and you disagree. Okay, and I don't need to keep talking about it. I don't agree with the philosophy of, well, let's just agree to disagree, when there's an actual right and wrong, and that's what there is in this case. Sarah Beth Colagrass. Oh, and there's Pamela Denise. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I don't accept the agree to disagree philosophy other than when it's purely an opinion. Like, for example, if I said, I think Simon and Garfunkel are the best band that's ever lived, and then you say, no, I think the Scorpions are. And then I would say, well, I don't agree. And then I can literally say, well, opinions are just like buttholes, I guess. Everybody's got one. Nobody's right or wrong on an opinion. There's some artwork that literally sucks. Okay? I agree with that one. Okay, Eddings incarceration, June 73 to June 78, October 78 to December 80, and September 82 to November... Oh, wow, he didn't have to serve his 90 years? Oh, what a joke. He got 90 years in prison, and then he got it all the way down, and he escaped again. Oh, you know why he got such little time? Is because he was so kind to that one lady, right? He kidnapped her, of course, dropped her off, and said, hey, would you call the cops in an hour and a half? Thanks. Then he took her car. So they thought, you know what? This guy's really a good guy. I mean, I guess he had to serve 26 years, but he escaped. Shouldn't that have given him more? I wonder if he lived with the judge for a while that let him out. Yeah, it sounds like he got arrested soon. What's weird is it didn't show up in the paper, newspapers.com, that he got rearrested. But thank you for putting it in there finally after your 6 rude comments. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, he had a 90-year sentence for abducting 3 girls, and I think he raped them, and then he tied them to a tree, and then they got rescued. And then, and then he escapes from prison, abducts, other people, 2 doctors. Oh, yeah, and then remember that? He held a knife to a nurse's throat and then told the officer, the security guard guy, hey, you give me that gun or I'm going to kill this person. And the security guard gave him the gun, and then he escapes. And I mean, that guy should be in prison for life after all the stuff he did, if you ask me. Sarah Beth Colagrass. Free card. The officer who handed him the gun should have got 10 years in prison, too. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. All you had to do was aim it at his head and pull the trigger, and there won't be any stabbing being done. Instead, you gave him a gun, and he could have done whatever the hell he wanted to with that thing. Well, I don't know if he should have got prison time, but he should have, he should have lost his job for sure. That was just really stupid. Yeah, but I didn't look I typed his name on Google too, but I looked it up on newspapers.com during that time frame. You think that would have been a big story in the area. Yeah, but try being a little bit politer. I hate chocolate. Next time somebody doesn't see exactly what you wrote, I think it's weird when people are so obsessed with that. Like, look at me, everybody. Look how hard I tried. Look at that. You're not paying attention. I'm not looking at the screen until like the end of the show, and then maybe only a quarter of the comments during the show. Okay? The only reason the chat's on is so that you guys can communicate a little bit. And then I look over every once in a while to see if somebody has something to say, but that's about it. I mean, I could turn it all off, and, nobody's going to be watching, of course. Or I wouldn't know, because nobody's talking. Why would that be useful for what you're looking at, Susanna? It has nothing to do with anything other than it just gave that information. Yeah, but to say, are you serious about this? Because you're not serious unless you read my comment. If you were really serious, you'd be reading my comment, by golly. No, they haven't, Gwen. I don't know if they're able to even do one. You know, it's more like for anthropologists. It was really just, you know, bones at that point. No, but what could you use it for, Susanna? I don't think you could. I think you're just trying to, you know, oh yes, I can really use it. Yeah, very important stuff. Really fits in with what I was. Right. Hey, I saw that one, Tracy. I'm just reading through the comments now because I don't have anything else to cover. Nah, it's not good enough. Yeah. Was it in Florida? Okay, well, it wasn't, and you know, it's not in. This guy's in Florida. It's not San Francisco. It's about as far away as you can get. So it doesn't. It's not really helpful for that. So that's what I thought. I thought you mentioned it once before. But sure, you know, if you want to pretend it's helpful, that's great. But me. Oh. The thing is back in those days, like between like 1972 and like 1974 and 85, there's just so many psychos out there. It's amazing. And I think they were really just doing what they were doing because they didn't really, they knew that there was no way to be caught during those years, but now there's, you know, they're harder to catch, I think, because they're aware that there's DNA and all these different things. Yeah, there's literally, I mean, it just feels like during that time there was hundreds and hundreds of serial killer types roving around during that time. I don't know. I don't know if they're more active, you know. I mean, it's amazing, because right now when you read the local paper, when's the last time you read of oh man, it sounds like a series going on. It seems like every time you look up one of these cases in newspapers.com, you always find these other ones in the same area during the same time. Like it's kind of a like a series. Hey, Susanna, do you actually have the, is it in the newspaper or anything? Or is there any kind of, maybe we could do that one sometime. Yeah. Well, San Francisco, man, that place is hard to get any information out of. Yeah, no, I'm totally for CCTV. I advocate for that all the time, out loud. You know, I mean, it's like, what's the reason? So here's the thing, everybody. The only people who really don't like CCTV They always claim, oh, it's against my pride. You know, they're always the people that have something to hide. Because I don't know how you can give a shit when you're just, you know, walking down a sidewalk. Why you would care if there was a camera filming. And the thing is, they only look at these cameras when something happens. They then go back in time and they can track people down. They're not sitting there looking at them all day like a psycho, you know. Well, how do you know, Gray? Oh, boy. Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Man, I'd never give my DNA. Well, how come? Well, I don't know. Maybe they're going to, you know, I don't know, man. Now I'm a little bit suspicious. Well, DNA is a little bit more personal, so I don't think the same as... I don't think the same with DNA as CCTV. I wish we had CCTV everywhere. Yeah, I mean, the UK is lucky. They have it all over the place. I mean, you can track somebody into the toilet stall over there. And then it's even inside the toilet itself. I mean, where do you think I got the information on what Morphew had for lunch? They're practicing it in the... Never mind. Maybe I meant watts. But anyways... Yep. All right, everybody. I think that's going to be it. That was another doozy, 3 hours long. 3 hours and 15 minutes. Oh, look at that. I knew. I was hoping that would happen. The Heat actually, they're still in it. I cannot believe that they won a game on a closeout game. How cool is that? So now they're right back in this sucker. They win the next game. That's pretty amazing. Because the Heat, what's strange about it is like the Heat aren't really way better than the Blazers or anything. I don't even know if they're better. We beat them all the time. So what's strange is they just happen to have a good combination against the Lakers. I was just looking at this 111-108. Good stuff. All right, everybody. Thank you all for showing up tonight. Thank you for making, keeping up a decent pace for the end of the month. Appreciate it. I had to sort of rejuvenate myself for a minute there, have a couple shots. Thank you to Rochelle Black, Dadio Caspian Orsa's Rock, and Kit Kat. Here's how it works. I'll do the whole breakdown right here. Rochelle Black, 8:25, 10 minutes into the show, at $2.99. Then Dadio Caspian Orsa's Rock at 8:37, 12 minutes later. And then a good 18 minutes later, Kit Kat. Then 2 minutes later, Amy Higg. And then 1 minute later, Linda Howe. Then 10 minutes later, Firefly. Then 1 minute later, Jay Case with the cat eye donation. Then 1 minute after that, Tracy. Then almost an hour later, Dadio Caspian Orsa's Rock. Then 3 minutes later, Gwen. Then 8 minutes later, Sarah. Then 25 minutes later, Pamela. Then Susanna, Matt Giola, Padre. I always want to say Giolia or something because there's all these I's and A's in there. And then also Pamela, Denise, 15 minutes after that. And then right now, Dadio Caspian Orsa's Rock. That's the actual breakdown. Oh, Jesus. Look at this guy. Now he's referencing some, obscure British definition up there. Michael Callahan is. What a whack job. Jesus. Listen, they referred to him as blue jeans in the articles. For you to sit there and keep talking over and over again that green corduroy dungarees are exactly what they were talking about makes you an idiot, okay? It's unfortunate for you, but that's just the truth. All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for the show tonight. I think I'm going to switch over to the... we'll do a little one round of a flyby here. God, let me keep looking up definitions until I find one that vaguely, just slightly helps me, and then I can try to win, even though I'm totally wrong. Okay, let's see. Cool. Now we can enjoy the last part of the show. That's right. Yes. I mean, that's the main thing. It's cool to have when you have a lot of viewers. At least there's more ideas out there. But it's the PayPals and the channel memberships all go towards the donations at the end of the month. So, all right, here we go. Ooh.
Oh my god, look at that. They sound like John Boy in there. Hey, good night, John Boy, good night, John Boy, good night, John Boy. Thank you, 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 thank you. Chewbacca, if you want me to be. Thanks, Jessica Chewbacca. I'll let Gray know. Wee! Man, that was awesome. That was so cool. That was the greatest show in the history of mankind. How come there were so many rude people tonight?
I don't know. I don't know why people get so obsessed with themselves on the show. They try to make the show about themselves. It's weird.
I know, wasn't it weird? I mean, who cares about green corduroy dungarees, and then how they're exactly the same as blue jeans.
Whoa, that sounded kind of psycho right there.
Oh yeah, and then the other people get upset when you don't read every single one of their comments because theirs are so much more important than everybody else's.
Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing.
Okay, good night, John Boy.
Good night, Mary Lou.
Wait, that's a question? What do you mean? Yeah, that's my name. Good night, John Boy. Jesus.
Good night, Mary Lou. Wow.
Yeah, those two they're just not ever going to get along. All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up tonight. And make sure that you wear your masks. Maintain your social distancing. And wash your hands as often as possible. But according to What's-Her-Face from last night, I've never said that once on any of my shows. It's amazing. All right, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Anybody who sends in super chats, everything. I just appreciate you all watching the show. Hopefully, you thought those were interesting. Oh, you never saw the Chewbacca thing? Oh, it's hilarious. Oh God. Yeah, the Chewbacca thing is he was at a hotel. He walks out the door, and a lady did this.
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Right. So that's what happened. It was a longer conversation, but that's the part I find really funny. Hey, thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. All right. So thank you guys all for showing up tonight, and make sure again that you wash your hands, maintain social distancing, wear your masks, and as I always say, everybody, until next time. Hey, by the way, I'll leave the chat on for a while so you guys can chat, just like I did last night.
I missed the Cairo Chewbacca thing. Sounds funny.
Yeah, she literally made that noise when he walked out the door. Isn't that crazy? It was weird. That's what was funny about it. Well, there's two things that are funny. That she would make that noise just randomly when somebody opens a door, but then immediately Cairo recognized it and said, Chewbacca? Is that what you're going for? Yeah, that part was great. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and an 8. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime detector, click rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Green is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector,
And I'm always gonna be a protector.
Fool deflector,
Interceptor.
enemy no than a spectre with a vector.
On his specter.
With all respect,
just remember I've a temper fucking check ya.
I have no agenda.
I'm a pretender.
And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody?
Oh boy, look how funny Kubi is. She was wondering if Lori was wearing corduroy or jeans. Ah! Ha, ha! That was good stuff. Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Mary Lou.
Hey, wow, that was crazy. All right, you guys, so you can chat away for a while here. And as I always say, be safe out there. Wait, you know what I want to do? I want to play this ending here. There we go. The Art Bell ending. Yes, thank you all for joining the show tonight. I hope you found it to be very interesting, as I did as well. Some very scary cases out of Florida that have been happening through the late 70s and early 80s. And I'll be covering more of those in the coming days. So from the green forests of the Pacific Northwest, I bid you all good evening, or good morning as the case may be. Oh yeah, good night.